Hi, everyone, and welcome to Inner Love Messages. I'm Sarah, and whether you're new here or a returning subscriber, I'm really happy you've joined me. It means so much to have you here. Tonight's reading is for those of you in a no-contact situation. I'll be tuning into your person's energy using this deck to uncover how they're feeling, how they're perceiving you and the connection, and to see if there are any messages their soul is trying to share. Let's open up to receive something honest and heartfelt straight from their spirit. The very first message that came through was, "I can't shake this feeling." Those words hold such weight. It's not just a fleeting emotion, it's something deeply rooted, powerful, and persistent. The energy behind it feels sacred, almost like it's being channeled from a divine feminine source. There's an elevated spiritual presence here, one that seems to carry an inner strength and wisdom even greater than she may fully recognize. She holds a quiet power, a spiritual depth that doesn't need to chase or force anything, because the universe is already working in her favor. Things are shifting on her behalf, aligning behind the scenes in ways that don't always make sense at first glance, but that are undeniably divinely orchestrated. On the other side of this connection, I'm picking up on a masculine energy who is going through something truly transformative. This isn't a mild awakening. It feels like a soul-rattling, supernatural shift. He might not fully understand what's happening to him because this realm of energy and spirit isn't where he typically feels at home. It's as if life has thrown him into the deep end of a spiritual experience, and he's still struggling to make sense of it all. Rather than getting external signs or clear messages, it seems the universe is speaking to him in a much more subtle and internal way through the constant invasion of his own thoughts. He can't stop thinking about you. You keep appearing in his mind, over and over again, no matter how much he tries to distract himself or push the thoughts away. It's not a passing memory or the occasional wonder, it's persistent, almost obsessive. Your energy is showing up uninvited in the middle of his daily life, interrupting his focus, pulling at him like a tide he can't resist. And while it might be overwhelming or even unsettling for him, it's happening for a reason. This isn't just random. This is Spirit's way of getting his attention. These thoughts, these emotional waves, this is the universe speaking through his inner world, insisting that he stop ignoring something important. But this isn't only about missing you. There's something deeper happening here. It's as if the universe is trying to lift a veil to reveal something much more profound about you, about the connection you share, and about truths he's been avoiding for far too long. A lesson is surfacing, one that's been hidden but is now demanding to be seen. What once felt like a dormant connection, something he thought he had tucked away, is suddenly alive and burning bright in his awareness. It's loud, it's intense, it's inescapable, and it's happening now for a reason. What makes this even more complex is that from the outside, he might look the same. He may still go about his life as usual, and no one would guess what's stirring within him. But behind that calm surface, there's a storm, a spiritual and emotional upheaval that's challenging everything he thought he knew. It's shaking up his identity, his beliefs, and the way he sees you. These emotions don't make sense to him, and they're showing up at the most inconvenient times, like when he's trying to concentrate on something else or when he believes he's moved on, but they keep coming back, stronger each time. There's a divine force at work here, gently but firmly steering him toward the truth. The universe is placing little seeds in his awareness, seeds of remembrance, of clarity, of awakening, and now those seeds are starting to sprout. The emotions he's experiencing aren't accidents. They're purposeful. They're timed. They're leading him toward a revelation that's long overdue. This awakening is preparing him to see you, and this connection, in a completely new light, one that honors the spiritual depth and sacred nature of your bond. From his perspective, it might feel like he's losing control. These thoughts and feelings might feel invasive or even inappropriate, but they're not there to torment him. They're trying to show him something he's been blind to. Whether he realizes it or not, he's being guided, lovingly but firmly, into a new level of awareness. It's an inner transformation that's meant to open his eyes and bring truth to the surface, not just about you, but about himself as well. There's an undeniable magnetism pulling him toward you. He feels powerless in the face of your energy, as though it has taken over his thoughts, his emotions, and his actions without any conscious effort from you. Even if you've stepped back or remained silent, the impact you've had on his soul is profound. You are the center of his mental and emotional world right now, and that divine feminine energy you carry is awakening something deep within him, something that refuses to stay quiet any longer. This shift is not subtle. The connection that once felt muted, distant, or stalled has now erupted into motion. There's a clear sense that things are changing, even if he can't articulate why or how. The universe is intervening, gently but persistently nudging him toward recognition, toward truth, toward you. He might not be fully aware of what's happening, but something inside him is starting to align with the truth of this connection. The feelings that once hid in the shadows are stepping into the light, and the awakening that's taking place within him is transforming not only the way he sees you, but the way he understands his own heart. This isn't just a shift in thought, it's a change in energy, in perspective, in soul awareness. The universe is no longer allowing him to deny what he feels, and he's beginning to see that this connection is not just emotional, but spiritual. And while it may be uncomfortable and confusing, it's also powerful and necessary. This moment has arrived with divine timing, and though the journey may still have its challenges, it's leading him towards something real, something he may not fully understand yet, but that his soul recognizes deeply. Before you dive into the full video, I just want to say something from the heart. If you've found value in the energy and effort I've poured into this reading, and if it resonates with you, I would truly appreciate a super thanks in your name. It's a beautiful way to show love and support. Now, let's talk about the energy that's coming through, because something has definitely shifted. There is a clear sense that this person is finally recognizing they owe you an apology. Those words, "I owe you an apology," are beginning to rise from deep within their energy field. It's as if a long overdue realization has dawned on them, one that's making them look at themselves and their actions toward you with new eyes. They're becoming aware of where they fell short, how they misunderstood or mishandled you, and how their energy may have impacted you in ways they didn't grasp before. What they're feeling now carries a deep emotional weight. It's not just a surface-level regret, it's something profound, something that stirs a vulnerability they've never truly confronted. They're seeing you differently now. It's like they've been blind to the depth of your being, the richness of your spirit, and the powerful light you carry. And this new awareness is unraveling them in ways they never anticipated. They're beginning to understand the ways they may have misjudged you or taken your presence for granted. And with that understanding comes a pull to make things right. The energy they're in now feels different, almost unfamiliar to them. It's like a new version of themselves is emerging, one that doesn't quite fit with their usual emotional patterns. There's a clear internal conflict brewing. On one side, they're holding onto their old ways, the habits and emotional walls that kept them in control. On the other, something much deeper is awakening, a new sense of awareness, perhaps even spiritual growth, that's pushing them out of their comfort zone. This tug of war is intense, and it's no surprise that it feels like a higher power or spiritual force is guiding this shift. Without that divine nudge, they may never have found the courage to face this emotional truth, especially when they are operating in their masculine energy. They tend to be someone who shields their heart and avoids emotional exposure. Vulnerability doesn't come naturally to them. Their usual approach to relationships is cautious and calculated, with walls built high to protect themselves from emotional harm. That's probably how they approached you too, slowly, with measured steps, trying not to get too close. But what's becoming undeniable now is how your connection is breaking through those walls. Their usual defenses aren't holding up anymore. It's like they're being stripped down emotionally, and what's left is raw, real, and confusing for them. In the past, you might have felt them pulling away, acting distant or even cold. But something has shifted in their heart, and it's something they can no longer ignore. The more they feel your energy, the more they realize how much they've missed out on by staying emotionally closed off. It's as though they're only now beginning to grasp your worth, the strength of your presence, the depth of your love, and it's leaving a deep impact on them. This isn't an easy shift for them, but it's a necessary one. They're being asked to grow, to change, to evolve emotionally, and your divine feminine energy is what's guiding them. You are the catalyst, the mirror, and the sacred presence helping them become someone who can finally meet you on that soul deep level. They have a tendency to be firm in their decisions once they've made their mind up. It's not easy for them to reconsider. This can come off as cold or stubborn, especially when relationships begin to unravel. But even when they acted like it didn't bother them, deep down they regretted how things ended. It's just that their instinct is to retreat. Instead of talking things through or confronting the emotional truth, they fall back on silence. They tell themselves that time will take care of everything, that their feelings will fade or the connection will dissolve naturally. But that hasn't happened with you. With you, the silence isn't healing anything. It's creating inner turmoil, a storm they can't ignore. What's haunting them now are the unspoken words, the unexplained ending, and the unresolved feelings. And lately, they've started to experience strange, almost surreal moments, things that feel like spiritual signs, subtle nudges from the universe reminding them that they can't just walk away from this. If it weren't for these signs, their usual emotional armor would still be intact. But because this connection is unlike anything they've experienced, they can't ignore the pull any longer. They're feeling emotions they've never allowed themselves to face before, and they don't know how to handle it. This is why your connection is standing at this crossroads. It's not just about how they respond to feminine energy in general, it's about how they respond to you. Your energy is unique. Your presence is unlike anything they've ever known. You've touched something sacred in them, something that's waking them up from a long, emotional slumber. They might not fully understand the spiritual depth of this bond, but they can feel it. And it's overwhelming. There's something inside them that knows things have changed, dramatically, irreversibly, and it's all because of the energy you carry. This isn't the kind of connection they can run from. They can't just move on like they may have done in the past. They feel the weight of an apology that they haven't spoken yet, a yearning to explain, to be understood, to reconnect. They might not know how to put these emotions into words, but the realization is undeniable. You've awakened something in them that they never expected to feel, and it's shaking them to their core. What they're experiencing now is a powerful emotional and spiritual awakening, one that is pulling them back toward you with a force that they can't resist. At the same time, it feels like the universe has stepped in and placed some distance between the two of you. There's a sense that this person is watching you, and the connection from afar, almost like they're behind some invisible barrier. They can see you, feel you, remember the connection, but something is keeping them from fully reaching out. This might be part of a larger divine plan, a spiritual intervention that is giving them the space to truly feel the impact of their choices and understand what this connection really means. It's not about punishment, it's about preparation. They're being given the time and distance to sit with their emotions, to face their fears, and to grow into the kind of person who can meet you where you are. And while they may not be able to act on it just yet, this space is helping them see things clearly. It's helping them recognize that the connection between you isn't just something special, it's sacred. There's something keeping this person from fully reaching you. All the signs seem to point them in your direction, and they feel that pull deep within, but something holds them back. It's as if they want to step forward, maybe even offer an apology or open up about their feelings, but they just can't seem to find the right moment. It doesn't quite feel like hesitation for no reason. It feels more like divine timing is at play, almost as if the universe is holding things in place for a reason, working behind the scenes in ways that neither of you can fully understand or control. Things are quietly building though, and the energy is shifting in meaningful ways. This masculine energy is being guided, even if he doesn't realize it yet. Something bigger than him is stirring within, nudging him forward, pushing him closer to you. He may not understand why he feels this urge, but it's getting harder and harder for him to ignore. There's this growing sense that everything leading up to now has been setting the stage for a decision, a pivotal one, whether he's aware of it or not. What's unfolding here isn't just chance. There's a greater force moving both of you along, aligning your paths. And the more you step into who you really are, the more this connection begins to transform. This isn't a random series of events, it's all happening for a purpose. The universe is laying the groundwork for a shift in energy, and whether you feel it consciously or not, it's happening in your favor. On a deeper level, you've been calling this person into your life without even needing to say a word. Your energy has been speaking for you, sending out signals that they've been quietly picking up. You might not see it yet, but your spiritual presence is affecting them in profound ways. They may not grasp the full extent of it, but it's changing something within them. Let me pause for just a moment to say, if you feel connected to this journey and want to stay part of our small, heartfelt community, don't forget to hit that join button and be with us as this unfolds. This connection is taking shape because of your energy, your light, your strength, your presence. You've already begun to influence the way they think, what they feel, and even the quiet conversations they have with themselves. None of this is accidental. It's the universe working in sync with you, weaving together this connection in quiet, powerful ways. You might not even realize how deeply you've impacted them, but there is a guiding energy here that can no longer be overlooked. The more you live in alignment with your highest self, the more magnetic your energy becomes. It draws them to you in ways they can't explain or resist. And now we come to a beautiful truth. Your energy, The Empress energy that you carry so effortlessly is becoming impossible for them to ignore. It's radiant, grounded, and filled with a kind of clarity that speaks directly to their soul. There's a growing realization setting in for them. No one else can take your place. No matter how hard they've tried to fill the space you left behind, they're beginning to understand that what you brought into their life is irreplaceable. That truth may not have been easy to accept. In fact, they may have spent a long time trying to run from it, telling themselves they'd be fine without you. But somewhere deep down, they always knew that wasn't true. Some connections run deeper than words, and you've left a mark on them that can't be undone. Whether they were ready or not, whether they even understood it at the time, you opened something in them they weren't prepared for. You made them feel things they weren't ready to confront. You showed them what real connection feels like, and in doing so, you shattered some of the illusions they held about love and life. That kind of awakening doesn't happen overnight, and it's rarely easy. But now that it's started, they can't turn away from it. They can't pretend it didn't happen. The more they resist, the more undeniable it becomes. This is the essence of Empress energy, a powerful feminine presence that holds love, grace, and nurturing at its core. It's not just soft and beautiful, it's strong and enduring. It's a quiet kind of power that doesn't need to be loud to be felt. But what many don't see right away is that this kind of energy isn't born from ease. It's shaped by experience, by pain, by growth, by rising after the fall. The Empress doesn't gain her strength by accident. She's walked through shadows, through heartbreak, through deep challenges that others may never even glimpse, and she's come out on the other side, radiant and full of life, not in spite of what she's been through, but because of it. This is where the masculine energy often falls short in their understanding. They might see your light, your gentleness, your nurturing spirit, but they don't always recognize the depth of what lies beneath. They may assume you're simply kind, simply strong, without seeing the layers of heartbreak and resilience that built the foundation of who you are. They may try to define you by what they can see, missing the truth of your story that lives deeper than words. But this energy, your energy, can't be fully known at a glance. It unfolds slowly, revealing itself only when the other is truly ready to understand it. And when the masculine is ready, when their heart opens to the truth, they'll see you clearly for the first time. The Empress carries so much more than meets the eye. Her strength is quiet, rooted in love and compassion, but it comes from the trials she's endured. People often don't see the weight she carries because she doesn't put it on display. She continues to give, to love, to hold space for others, even when she's been through pain that would have broken a lesser soul. That's what makes her strength so sacred. It's not loud or flashy, it's enduring, it's resilient. It's the kind of strength that doesn't ask for recognition, but is felt in the way she continues to show up with love despite everything she's faced. And perhaps the most profound part of this journey is that the masculine is beginning to see this now, piece by piece. They're starting to realize that what they saw before was only the surface. That the real you, the whole you, is even more powerful, more beautiful, and more irreplaceable than they ever understood. But they couldn't have seen it all at once. The universe, or perhaps divine timing, has designed it this way so that when they finally do understand, it will be in a way that changes them forever. The Empress knows that pain and hardship are a natural part of life, but she doesn't let them define her or diminish her value. She's grown through every challenge, and that growth is what makes her radiant. There's a strong feeling that the masculine energy in this connection may have initially misjudged her. Perhaps he saw her light and misunderstood it as naivety or simplicity, not realizing that her brightness comes from walking through darkness and transforming because of it. Now, though, the truth is rising to the surface. He's beginning to understand that she's not just a gentle presence, she's a warrior with a deeply rooted strength, the kind that only forms through surviving and healing from life's deepest wounds. The Empress embodies the full range of feminine power. She is nurturing, soft, and radiant, yet she also carries a fierce resilience. People often see her light, but they don't always recognize the depth behind it. That's changing. The masculine is starting to see her for who she truly is, a woman who has walked through storms, held herself together when no one else could, and emerged with a grace that speaks louder than words. There's also something incredibly healing about her. Whether she identifies as a healer or simply holds a soothing energy that comforts others, there's a quiet power in the way she shows up in people's lives. Her presence alone can calm anxiety, mend invisible wounds, and spark growth in those around her. It's a gift she may not even fully recognize, but others feel it instantly. This masculine energy likely felt it too, even if he didn't understand what it was at the time. He might have kept parts of himself hidden, unsure of how to be fully seen. But now he realizes he can't hide from the truth of who she is or from the healing she brings. Her presence speaks louder than words. It is steady, loving, and filled with a nurturing strength that touches everything and everyone she encounters, including him. To him, and perhaps to others who are beginning to see her clearly, she is the Empress. She holds both light and shadow. She is the one who can cradle someone through their pain and, at the same time, hold her own boundaries with clarity. She is powerful not because she demands attention, but because her presence naturally draws it. She's aligned with the divine feminine in its most complete form, and even those who once doubted are now awakening to her truth. Her energy shifts everything it touches, not with force, but with an undeniable grace. For this masculine energy, encountering someone like her is unfamiliar. He may have grown up around or been in relationships with women who followed familiar roles, who stayed within the lines drawn by tradition or society. But she doesn't fit inside any of those lines. She exists far beyond them, limitless, untamed, expansive. Her very presence shakes up everything he thought he knew about love and connection. She's not playing a part. She simply is, authentic, powerful, and unapologetically herself. And that truth is awakening something in him, something he didn't expect. He may have felt overwhelmed by her at first. Her complexity, her rawness, her honesty. It's all a lot to take in when someone is used to simplicity. He might have mistaken her strength for something intimidating, or even something to be wary of. He may have questioned why she showed up the way she did, standing in her power so boldly, never shrinking herself to fit his expectations. But the more time passes, the more he realizes that her presence wasn't accidental. She didn't come into his life to be tamed or misunderstood. She came as she is, and she never tried to be anything else. That kind of truth is powerful, and now he can't unsee it. Her energy is magnetic. She's the kind of person who shows up and leaves an imprint that lingers. And for someone like him who may have spent his life looking for pieces of a perfect partner in many different people, meeting someone who embodies everything at once can be disarming. He might have even questioned if she was real, if someone so complete, so in tune could actually exist. He may have doubted his worthiness, unsure whether he could match the energy she brings. Yet she's remained steady, never wavering, simply being herself. And that steadiness has forced him to look deeper, to face what he didn't know he needed to confront. He's beginning to realize that he's never met anyone like her before. This masculine energy carries his own layers. There's a certain rigidity, a way he may have tried to control how the connection unfolded. He might have come in thinking he could steer it, set the pace, or define the rules. But this connection doesn't work like that. It has its own rhythm, one that he can't control, and one that won't let go easily. He might have tried to resist it or distance himself, but deep down, he knows. It's not something he can walk away from without feeling the loss. The universe is revealing that this connection is not random. It's meaningful. It's sacred. He's starting to understand that love isn't always replaceable, that not every person can be forgotten or substituted. In fact, the more he tries to find that same energy elsewhere, the more he realizes how rare she truly is. The Empress energy isn't something that can be replicated. It isn't a performance or a personality trait. It's who she is at the core. She carries the essence of the divine feminine in all its layers, nurturing, strong, wise, powerful, graceful. And he's beginning to feel the weight of what that means. He's grappling with this now, facing a truth he wasn't prepared for. The more he tries to fill the space her absence leaves behind, the more he realizes it's impossible. Nothing compares. He didn't just want someone. He was unconsciously searching for her. And now that he's felt her energy, nothing else satisfies. He knows deep down that he can't move forward until he fully acknowledges what they share. She is one of a kind. There's no substitute. And now, it's time to look even deeper. This isn't just about romance or desire. It's about a spiritual preparation that's been unfolding on both sides. I recently received a profound message. Healers need protectors. This truth is at the heart of what's happening between the divine feminine and her masculine counterpart. While this might not be visible from the outside, it's a vital part of the path both are walking. The masculine is undergoing a transformation of his own, led by forces beyond his understanding, preparing him to be the kind of partner who can fully show up for her. The masculine meant for this divine feminine is unlike anyone he's been before. His evolution is unfolding moment by moment, preparing him not just for her, but for the sacred union they are destined to share. This role he's stepping into isn't about traditional protection. It's spiritual. It's about becoming the kind of man who can hold space for her light, her mission, her healing energy. This isn't a path he's walked before, but the connection they share is reshaping him, calling him into something higher. As the divine feminine continues to embody her purpose, she is lifting the vibration of everyone around her, including this masculine. Her energy isn't just beautiful, it's transformative. Being close to her brings clarity, awakening, and growth. There's a cosmic bond between them that defies logic. It's spiritual in nature, rooted in something ancient, something destined. And it cannot be rushed. For this connection to truly bloom, the masculine must rise. He must become the protector. Not in the sense of guarding her from harm alone, but in the spiritual sense, safeguarding her mission, honoring her light, and holding space for all that she is. This isn't optional, it's written into their soul contract. Every delay, every separation, every moment of resistance is simply a pause, allowing him time to step into his purpose with integrity and strength. It all unfolds in divine timing. What lies ahead may be profound. The next chapter will ask more of both of them, but especially of the masculine, who must now be ready to stand beside her, not ahead of her, not behind her, but with her. She needs protection, not because she is weak, but because her mission is vast. She bridges realms, moving between the physical and the spiritual with grace. To outsiders, her life may seem ordinary, but beneath it all, she is a living conduit of spiritual energy. That's why she needs someone who sees her clearly. Someone who doesn't just love her outer self, but who reveres the sacred work she does, often in silence, often without applause. She walks a path that requires discipline, spiritual strength, and unwavering authenticity. She deserves a partner who respects that, who honors her truth, and who chooses to stand beside her not just in love, but in purpose. This isn't just about having someone who's physically present in your life, it's about having someone who truly understands your deeper needs. The need for stillness, for spiritual space, for genuine connection with something greater. It's about a kind of love that goes far beyond surface-level support. It's about a partnership rooted in real harmony, where both people feel deeply seen, heard, and respected for who they truly are, and the path they're on. Your spiritual journey is incredibly unique, and you're not someone the masculine energy has likely encountered before. You carry a healing energy, one that has been shaped through your own experiences, often born from pain, challenges, and karmic cycles that have pushed you to grow. Whether you offer your healing energy through your work, or simply through the way you live and love, there's no doubt that you're here with a bigger purpose. You've walked through fire to become who you are, and now you carry the wisdom of those experiences. This path you're on isn't just about personal healing. It's about helping to shift the collective energy of the world. And if you feel drawn to the twin flame journey, this might be why. You're here not just to balance your own energy, but to help others find their own equilibrium through the example you live every day. This sacred connection between you and the masculine is unfolding like a divine dance. You're both learning and evolving in your own ways. The masculine is starting to step into his power, learning how to protect, honor, and uplift. And you, in your divine feminine energy, are guiding him toward a deeper understanding of what strength and vulnerability really mean. The love between you is not just romantic, it's transformational. You're both here to rise together, to become the fullest versions of yourselves, and in doing so, to create a ripple of healing and light that reaches far beyond just the two of you. This is a divine process, and it's unfolding exactly as it should. This connection isn't something ordinary. It's not just about two people coming together. It's about two souls meeting for a purpose so much bigger than romance. It's part of something sacred, something written into the very structure of the universe. While the masculine may not fully grasp the spiritual depth of your bond just yet, there's a part of him that's waking up. He may not be able to put it into words, but deep inside, he's starting to recognize that this connection is guiding him towards something much greater than he's ever known. He may still be on the journey of figuring it all out, but the pull is there. He knows, on some level, that this is not just another relationship. If he could be completely honest with you, he'd tell you that no matter the distance, no matter the silence or challenges, he has never stopped feeling connected to you. There's a magnetic pull between you that he can't shake, and even though he might not fully understand why, he knows something vital has always felt missing in his life. and that something is you. It goes deeper than attraction or compatibility. It's like looking in a mirror that reflects not just your light, but also your wounds. You share a soul-deep connection that reaches places few people ever touch. Your similarities, your strengths and your scars mirror each other in profound ways. What he might not fully realize yet is that this connection is meant to bring healing. And healing isn't always gentle. It can be messy and uncomfortable. You trigger each other in ways that force growth, bringing old fears, unresolved wounds, and emotional shadows to the surface. And while this can feel overwhelming, it's all part of the divine purpose. You're both being called to do the inner work, first on your own, and then together. It's through this process that your bond will deepen and become the strong, balanced foundation for the mission you are meant to share. The journey you're on together is about more than just love. It's about rising into who you were always meant to be. This isn't a relationship that fits into the usual mold. It's spiritual, transformative, and at times it can feel like too much. The masculine, especially, may have tried to run from the connection, overwhelmed by how intense it is. There may have been moments when he wanted to escape it all, when he doubted whether he was ready for something this real. And you may have felt that too, the urge to retreat, to question whether you were truly prepared for the depth of what you were feeling. But the truth is, this connection is undeniable. It's powerful, like a force of nature. No matter how far you drift, the energy between you never fades. Even when you've been apart, there's been something bigger at work. Every separation, every return, every shared moment has served a purpose. In the eyes of the universe, there's no such thing as real separation. Everything that has happened, every choice, every pause has been guided by divine timing. What may not always make sense in the physical world has always been aligned with something greater behind the scenes. The path that keeps bringing you back to each other is no accident. It's all part of a carefully orchestrated plan to lead you toward your shared destiny. Right now, the masculine is feeling that pull more than ever. He doesn't just see you as someone he loves. He sees you as someone who is connected to his soul's mission. There's something about you that he can't explain, but it feels like you're meant to walk this path with him. Even if he tries to ignore it or push it away, he can't escape the sense that you're part of something greater in his life. You are tied to his purpose, to his spiritual awakening, and he feels a growing desire to protect and support you, not just emotionally, but in the deepest, most soul-connected way. This is the role he is meant to step into, to be the provider, the protector, the one who creates stability so that your divine feminine energy can fully rise and shine. He is meant to hold space for your light, while you help him awaken to the spiritual truths he may have long forgotten. It's a sacred balance, one where both of you bring something essential to the union. Your love isn't limited by earthly standards. It's rooted in destiny, carried by a sense of purpose and higher calling. Through this connection, you will both find healing, growth, and fulfillment in the mission that brought you together in the first place. Even though he longs to return to your energy, certain steps must be taken first. And right now, one of those steps is coming into focus. As the divine feminine, you're living your purpose. You're sharing your healing light, walking in your truth, and offering wisdom to those around you. But there's also a need, a soul-deep desire, for a partner who can walk beside you and hold that sacred container of protection and strength. Whether you're fully aware of it or not, divine forces are preparing him to be that partner. Things are unfolding behind the scenes in perfect order, and soon he will be ready to meet you in a space of aligned, transformative love. It's becoming more and more clear that you and this person are standing at the threshold of something new. While there is certainly romantic energy between you, what binds you is something far more meaningful. It's a spiritual connection that calls both of you to rise, to see the bigger picture, and to work together in a way that honors both the spiritual and the physical. What's developing between you isn't just about the heart, it's about the soul and the higher calling that unites you both. Now is the time to approach this connection with a sense of awareness and intention. There is a reason you found each other, and it has everything to do with what you're meant to create together. As you look more deeply into your shared history and the parallels in your personal journeys, you may be surprised by what you uncover. Perhaps your wounds are similar, your families shaped you in parallel ways, or you've both come to the same truths through different paths. The more you learn about each other, the more it will become clear just how deeply your connection runs. What might seem simple on the surface is actually layered with profound depth. This isn't just about love, it's about transformation. You're not here to stay the same. You're here to become something greater together. The shifts happening now are preparing both of you for a new chapter, one that asks more of you, but also offers more in return. And finally, there's a quiet message coming from the masculine soul. This is harder than I thought. These words speak to the resistance and fear that are rising up within him. There's something about the familiarity of this connection that made him think it would be easy, that you'd just fall into place together, but the reality is much more challenging. It's stirring things in him he hadn't expected, and it's asking him to grow in ways that feel terrifying. He's starting to see that in order to meet you fully, he can't keep playing small. He has to rise. He's beginning to understand that this connection demands his full presence. It's not just about showing up for you, it's about showing up for himself. It's about stepping into a version of himself that's stronger, wiser, and more open than ever before. There's no room left for fear or hesitation. He knows that once he chooses this path, he's all in. And while that's a huge leap, it's also the one that leads both of you into the life you were always meant to live together. You hold a powerful, undeniable influence over this person, something that goes far beyond the typical dynamics of a relationship. It touches the soul, awakening something deeply spiritual within them. Your presence in their life is significant, and they feel it at their core. This connection isn't something casual or temporary. It carries depth, weight, and a kind of sacred energy that can't be ignored or taken for granted. They've come to understand that treating you with anything less than deep respect and reverence would come with consequences, because your energy is that unique, that divine. They're not dealing with just anyone. You carry a spiritual force that demands to be met with honesty, clarity, and commitment. This realization has hit them hard. It's a moment of awakening, a kind of truth that reshapes how they see you and what they feel this connection really means. It's not about fleeting desire or surface-level attraction. This bond speaks to something deeper, something timeless, a kind of soul-level recognition that pulls at them in ways they can't fully explain. Even if you don't always see just how much of an impact you have, your presence is guiding them, helping them become more aware of their true path and inner purpose. Without even trying, you're playing a pivotal role in their growth. You're offering them something they may have spent a lifetime searching for, a woman who not only matches their energy but challenges them to rise higher, to become better, to live with purpose. That's why they can't seem to stop thinking about you. No matter what they do, you stay on their mind. It's as if their soul knows you're part of a bigger story, and that their role is to honor, protect, and walk beside you in this life. They may not have recognized this at first. There might have been confusion, hesitation, even fear about what this all meant and whether they were ready for it. But now, after some deep introspection and spiritual growth, things are becoming clearer for them. They're beginning to understand what this connection truly is, not just a spark or fleeting passion, but a higher calling. One that asks for real dedication, mutual respect, and the willingness to grow together. For some time, it may have felt like the two of you were moving in different directions. While you were focused on your healing, they may have been struggling with their own inner blocks, resisting the very transformation that would bring them closer to you. There was likely a sense of distance, an emotional or spiritual gap that neither of you knew how to bridge. But that energy is shifting. Something is changing. There's a divine rhythm unfolding now, and it's making room for alignment. This year especially feels important, as if the universe is nudging things into place to support your shared journey. They're starting to feel the pull of destiny, the weight of this purpose-driven connection. There's an urgency within them now, a need to rise, not just for you, but for themselves and for something greater. They're ready to show up in a way they couldn't before. Your energy has become a kind of catalyst for them. You're not doing anything in particular, but simply by being who you are, so powerful, so authentic, you're stirring a transformation in them. You're showing them what it means to live in alignment. And that realization is pushing them to rise up and meet you where you are. When they say, "This is harder than I thought," it's coming from a place of truth. They're starting to understand that being with you means walking a path that isn't easy or conventional. Nothing about your energy suggests comfort zones or simplicity. You're here for something extraordinary. You live life on your terms, guided by inner wisdom and a deep sense of spiritual purpose. And now they see that keeping up with you isn't about impressing you, it's about evolving, becoming more of who they're meant to be. This connection is asking both of you to grow. It's not just about love. It's about evolution. It's about spiritual alignment, about each of you pushing the other to expand and become the fullest expression of your true selves. They're beginning to see that this isn't just a relationship, it's a sacred union, one that requires effort, inner work, and a willingness to change. It's not convenient or simple, but it's deeply worth it. This realization has caused a major shift within them. They're beginning to see the depth of the bond you share. It's no longer something they can approach casually or take lightly. They now understand that if they want to be with you, they need to meet your strength with their own. And in doing so, they're learning to love themselves more deeply too. That's the beauty of this connection. It's not just about finding love in someone else. It's about finding a new love within oneself as a result of that connection. What you two share is transformative. It's not just emotional or physical, it's spiritual. It's a powerful dance of healing, rising, and becoming. And your person is finally starting to see how sacred and rare this truly is. They're no longer stuck in old patterns or blind to the path in front of them. They're stepping into their power, fueled by the clarity this connection has brought them. If you've been wondering what's next, you and this person are standing at the beginning of a new chapter. It may feel unfamiliar or even a little uncertain, but it's also filled with possibility. There's a divine plan unfolding, and this year could be a turning point. Your connection isn't just meant to fulfill a personal desire. It's tied to something greater, something purposeful. To truly move forward, both of you will need to be willing to show up, to do the work, and to trust the process. What's coming feels powerful. There's a sense of movement, a readiness that wasn't there before. This journey is far from over. It's evolving, growing, becoming something that could change both of your lives in the best way. As you both step into what's next, remember that this is a sacred path. And while it may be challenging at times, it will also be deeply rewarding. Thank you for being here and for receiving this message with an open heart. If this resonates with you, we invite you to support the channel with a super thanks. It truly helps and allows us to continue sharing these messages. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates and content meant to uplift, inspire, and support you on your journey. Your presence means the world to us.